All right. Shalom, shalom, shalom. We the real Hebrew Israelites down here at the GMS Virginia Hampton Camp. Back with another lesson through the Spirit of Pabia Habashim Shine. And we pray and hope this lesson will elect and to you few sisters out there that's tuning into these lessons. But before we get started, we'll give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Rakah Hadash. Double honors to our apostles, our elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who grew well and teach well on sound doctrine. Peace, love, and salutation to you out there doing work with truth and sincerity and risking your lives and freedom to do so, man. Hey, strong shalom to you. And pretty much the title of the lesson, the spirit hit me instantly after I called the brother. We touched on a little bit of that camp, but pretty much the title of the lesson, it says, the elect will not comply to this beast system. All right. Now we know we're in the latter days where the whole system is about to change. Everything is going to go to a digital currency, right? You're going to have, particular things of how the laws are going to be changed, curfews, a lot of things are going to be implemented, all right, in America or throughout the planet Earth, because that's, what was prophesied, right? But the thing is, with this damn devil want is mass compliance, okay? He wants servitude from all walks of life, right? He wants to be, the God. All right, it speaks about that in Thessalonians. He opposes himself as God, claiming that he is God. But we know that this is just a damn man that's way out of his league. All right, He don't know what the fuck he's doing, and he's just, you know what I'm saying? He's still pissed off about how he lost the blessing. So he's really being a brat, a bastard, if you will. But you can get that Revelation 13 Bible shot. You got a point.
Yeah, this is Revelation 13, and I'll start at I'm gonna start at 14.
Okay, come on. Yep, Bible shot.
Yeah, it says no, I'll start at 13. It says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live.
Stop right there, Baba Gashad. I want to revert back to the very first scripture that you it was a 13.
13.
That he 13. He had great wonders and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Now we have to be very direct on who this he talking about, because throughout the scriptures you'll see that he or the wicked or so on and so forth, and there's a pretty much damn, I can't even think of the word, but pretty much it's speaking about the same person, and that he is that same he that speaks about in Job 9:24.
What, parable?
Not where who is it? No, not parable, but I don't want to say indicator, but it's pretty much a sign that lets you know that this he, like, it's evidence. You know what I'm saying? It's proof that this has to be the he. You know what I'm saying? That the scriptures line up of showing of his particular characteristics, the acts, the particular things that he did, and the prophecies fit who it is. Pretty much a process of elimination, if you will, right? Gotcha. Because when you measure, because the scriptures speak about measuring the time diligently with itself, we measure through the prophecies. So the only way we know for a man to do those particular wonders at that time period, it would have to be the so-called white man, the wicked, right? Because he was the one who was bombing Japan, Korea, so on and so forth, and bombing majority of all these other nations to pretty much assert dominance in the earth, because he's that deadly wound that was healed. So now he has been brought back into that power. And what does the big bad wolf want? He wants to take all the chips from everybody, everything, and he wants full control. He wants to be in that power seat, right?
Right.
You got it out, Salat.
Yeah. You want me to read 14 again?
Khan, Baba Kasha.
Yeah, it says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in sight of the beast.
Yep, and he did many miracles. He did. Hey, his MO is deception, right? He's the devil that the Bible speaks of. What does the word devil mean? When you go into the Greek word, it's diabolos, which means deceiver. What does a deceiver do? He's deceived. Deception, right? The words when his mouth was smooth as butter, but war was in his heart. Trickery. Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, the scriptures say the wiles of the devil, the trickery, the deceit of the devil.
Yep. Yep, that Ephesians 6. So it lets you know, like, hey, this man is, like it says in Sirach 12, never trust thy enemy. You know what I mean? Though he humble himself, go away, crouch and seek. And then hey, it's so many different scriptures that literally explains how this damn devil operates, and we're able to filter it out and see all his particular actions or the things that he caused, right? And we're like, okay, well, only one particular nation of people fits this, description, right? The Bible is like a description of who is who. When you report a crime to the police, or they say, okay, can you tell me what he looked like? What's his name? He got any tattoos? What kind of shoes was he wearing? And so on. You give a brief description of who this damn suspect is, right? Yeah. The Bible has given those descriptions, and then we're able to, this nigga, hey, that's the same shit he did a couple years ago, so on and so forth. And we're able to link it up. That's how we know through the spirit, man. It's a spiritual thing. So we're not making this shit up, man. This is the devil, man. Right. But a lot of people, they hear it and it's foreign to them. They're like, well, this can't be true. It's conspiracy. Nah, man, it's the truth. This nigga is the damn devil, and he's trying to make you take a tiny technology in your body, man.
Yeah, it's basically like them old mystery movies. You at the end you find out who's the culprit, and then they show like a backtrack of all the things they did, and then it makes sense to them. Oh shit, this was the guy who was the murderer at the end of the movie. But the Lord gave us the eye salve to line it up now. So that's a beautiful. The water Yahweh Shem shot for that, you know what I mean? Because you got to realize the Lord put a blinders over the majority of these people walking the earth on how, but like they know deep down that son ain't right with Esau, but they can't see it to the full effect that we can. You know what I mean? But it says, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which have the wound by a sword and did live.
Yep, and that image just pretty much goes in the whole structure that was fashioned after the ancient Roman Empire that was implemented here into the new Roman Empire, the revival of the Roman Empire. That's where you got the term called Renaissance, which means rebirth. What did it birth back? It birthed back the customs, the ideologies, the philosophies, the religion, the partying, the finances, pretty much the whole structure that propped up Rome was the same type of structure that you have today here in America, man.
Yeah, the deadly
wound
was
spread out thin. Yep.
Yeah. So it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. It says, and
so if you don't worship, if you don't comply, if you don't go along with the get along, what happens? Now you're making yourself a prey, especially in this society. Scriptures go into how when we depart from evil, we make of ourselves a prey, right? When you read the 2 Peter's, it speaks about how they think it odd when you run not with them with the same excess of rioting, revelings, partings, and so on and so forth, because that's that Bacchus spirit that happened back in the Grecian Empire, where they would particularly do these heinous acts or these sacrifices and so on and so forth to this particular deity. And that same deity was worshipped in the Roman Empire, right? Because you have to remember, Rome was just a mixture of different empires, and they just formed it and just made it into whatever they made it into, right? They took, like, even with the Roman military force, a lot of their tactics, they stole, like how the way they form and formation, you know what I'm saying? They learned that from the Persians, they learned it from the Etruscans, right? They learned it because they learned it from the Grecians as well, right? They learned all these particular things and they formed it into their own. They adapted from different cultures. That's why they're known as a culture vulture.
Yep. Because they don't, they're weird and they're basically no flavor, so they had to take a little bit of everybody. You know what I mean? Like I was looking at something today on this page I follow. And they were breaking down the Picts, Picts, and that was the original inhabitants of Ireland, and that was Jake, and that's where the movie Avatar come from, because they said they're the blue bloods. I put it in the chat when you get a chance. Look that up. It's pretty dope, yo. But he took over Ireland. You know what I mean? And they so whack. Their flag originally still had a Moor Moore's head on top of the flag.
God.
You know what I mean? But now
That's
think
heavy.
about it. You conquer something, you want to hide the true identity of these people. Why would you continue to keep a dark-skinned man's head as the representation of your place of habitat, you know? But that's but I'm, for another time. But verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
So how does he cause it? Oh, so like you want to speak on that, brother?
No, you got it, bro.
Okay, Salaki. Yeah, so he causeth. How does he cause? Through mass deception. How is it? Because you have to remember this guy, he moves with gradualism, but he know that time remaineth short according to Revelation 12:12. So he's gonna come out at first. Oh man, this can heal you, can have particular different abilities.
Yeah, you can walk.
Elements. It'll enhance you. You know what I'm saying? Your human capabilities. You can be synced with AI technology to kind of have you to perform, particular things. Like he's going to make it appealing to the eye. He's going to literally attack the hearts of the people, right? Yeah. And say, hey man, this could cure cancer. It could do all these wonderful things, right?
Yep.
So, which is a miracle. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we know that's not the right way. And according to this chip, this mark that he wants to put in us, it's against what Yahweh Shem Yahushua is for, man. He's not with that. And once you take this mark, right, there's no repenting from that. That's a sin that you cannot repent from. You will partake in that nuclear fire, right? So with that being said, the way he's going to call, he's going to do it through deception. Once deception doesn't work, he's going to use it with force and compliance. The same thing that they use when it comes down to police brutality. They say, get on the ground, do this, do that. And if you don't listen to their commands, now they feel like they have the power to do whatever they want with you. And that's the type of power that the Lord is going to give them for a small period of time, obviously to bring judgment on the 2/3 and so on and so forth. But the elect is going to be in the midst of this. And the Lord is going to put the spirit on the elect not to take this MOTB, not to take this mark, not to comply to the beast system, or not to comply of taking this chip and pretty much being in sync or with society and how everything is operating when everything is propped up,
Right.
And if you can get that word comply, Baba Kasha, and read that again, Baba Kasha, because that's what he wants, man. He wants mass compliance from the whole inhabitant of the world, man. And this is the hour of temptation that Revelation, the 3rd chapter, speaks about, man. That everybody is going to be tried in this hour. Your faith is truly going to be tried, right? And if you're not of the elect, best believe you're either going to comply, and if you're not going to comply, and you don't know the names of Yahweh Shem Yahushua and so on and so forth, you're just going to partake of that death. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Because you're going to have particular, the good boys and other nations that may be like, I ain't taking. It's the same thing with the Maximation. Everybody didn't take the Maximation, but that doesn't mean that they're the elect.
Right. I got this word compliance in the Edom. It says acting according to certain accepted standards, disposition or tendency to yield to the will of others.
Yep, yield to the will of others.
It says that the act of submitting, usually surrendering power to another.
Woo! Surrendering power to. So now so now when you comply, you're pretty much saying, this is my God. This is who I'm going to be submissive to or subject under, because sub meaning under and ject meaning rule. So you're under rule, right? But we know, according to the scripture, hey, we're prisoners of war. We're held against our will. We serve Yahweh Shem Yahushua, even though we're prisoners of war. But we know that, hey, we're going to do what we need to do through the spirit. But once it conflicts with the law, statutes, confcommandments, or conflicts with us serving Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we ain't going for it. You know what I'm saying? Through the spirit power, we fuck the compliance. We pay our tickets, obey the traffic laws, the laws in the land, and so on and so forth. Yeah, because we can still serve the Lord. But once this damn devil wants us to comply and do something that's against what Yahweh Shem Yahushua has set out for us or wants us to do, then that's when that's when the boundaries is crossed. And we ain't going for that, Yahweh Ratazah. And that's why the importance of this lesson is, hey man, you got to stay in that, like you brought out that camp, Pashai, which means rebel. You gotta have that rebellion to this damn devil, man. Because hey, this ain't our kingdom, this ain't our rest, and this ain't the end all be all. You know, we know what's righteous and what's wicked, and taking that chip is fucking wicked, man.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. It says, verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 and 6.
Yeah, because the IUCBK, the elder Manazaba, he just did a lesson. IUCBK was breaking down what the mark of the beast was, and he was breaking it down wrong. I forget exactly what the hell they said, but it was completely off.
IUIC says it's Christianity.
No, IUCBK said it was Christianity.
No, the IUIC says it's an embargo.
Yeah, or sleeping with white women. I heard all particular different things, man. So it's like, but he just did a lesson like 17 hours ago going into it, and they was out. A couple individuals came up to their camp, and they were saying that the mark of the beast was Christianity. So it just lets you know they bugged out.
Man. Like if it was Christianity, then almost every Jake has the mark, the MOTB.
Exactly. Which don't even make sense. And then it literally says that you won't be able to buy or sell. So this is pretty much a hurdle for your livelihood. You need to buy and sell to live in this society. Everything is under this damn devil's rule. You have to go to the grocery store, pay taxes, all these particular things just to live or survive in this society. So if you're not able to buy and sell unless you have that mark, then you're no longer a part of the society.
But hold
you're
on,
going to be an outcast.
You got so many different nationalities with different faith systems that's in America right now. So how is that the MOTB? What about the true Muslims? I'm not talking about Jake that conformed into Islam, but I'm talking about Ishmael that really Yeah, come on, man. What about the East? What about the East Indians, man?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They believe in Buddha and this and that, but they still are under this beast system. It just makes no sense, man. Like
it just bugged out. But that's they don't have the spirit, and that's why they're going to be confounded when this MOTB truly present itself, to the masses, man. Because everybody's going to know, and it's all going to come down to the pipeline. Okay, who's going to take it and who's not, and the ones who's not going to take it are the elect, predominantly. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to have small remnants that may not take it. But at the end of the day, we know the reason why the elect aren't going to take it, man, because they trust and fear Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai, man.
Yep. You want me to jump to Revelation 14?
Yeah, you can. You can get that, and then we can close out Revelation 20, unless you had another precept.
No, that's good. And everything was spot on. This is Revelation chapter 14 and 4. It says, hold on, did you want 4? Hold on, Salakia. Let me make sure I got that right, brother.
No, that was right.
Yeah. All right. I thought sometimes I'll be thinking I've jumped too far. Revelation 14 and 4. It says, these are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth.
Yep. So the Lamb is Yahweh Shai. So those virgins are speaking about who? The elect, the 144,000 and large multitude of men, women, and children. I believe it's in Timothy where it says, I have espoused you to one husband and you are a chaste virgin. So that's pretty much a metaphor for saying that the elect won't be defiled, by this beast system, by the philosophies, by the religion, and so on and so forth.
Yep, and we are
washed with this word.
Yeah, we are the bride. Yeah. Oh, you froze up. I'll just give him a few seconds. He probably hop back in.
Kyle, can you hear me out?
Now I can.
Okay, Kyle, Salaki. Yeah, so pretty much those verses going into the elect, and it's pretty much a symbolic for them not being defiled spiritually through the beast system, the religion, the philosophies, and so on. They're pretty much not following after the customs and the mannerisms of this place. They're following after the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, seeking the old path, right? But we were once like that, but what? We were washed through the word. So now we're cleansed, and now we're made as chaste virgins to Yahweh Shem Yahshua, right? And if you take that chip, you're no longer a part of that, you know what I'm saying, that chaste virgin, man, you know?
Yep. It says, these were redeemed from among men, that you just brought that up, redeemed among men, right?
Yes, because we was bought with a price through the blood of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach.
Yeah. Being that the first fruits unto the Most High and to the Lamb.
All
right.
Yep.
And you want me to keep going?
Is it more?
Yeah, just real quick. And in their mouth, and in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of the Most High.
Yep. Why? Because they repented. So through their repentance, through their faith and grace, they were saved, right? So now they're not going to be defiled with that MOTB, but they're also not going to be held blameless for the iniquities or the sins that they did commit prior to them coming into the truth, right? Yeah. Or while they're in the truth, you know. And that's the beautiful part of the mercies that Yahweh Shem Yahshua has sent forth to his elect, man, you know. But you can get that Revelation 20. We can close out on that, Baba Kashaw.
Yeah, this is Revelation 20:4. It says, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai and for the word of the Most High, and which have not worshipped the beast, neither his image. It says, neither have received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with the Mashiach Yahweh Shai 1,000 years. It says, but the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection.
Yeah, so it is a lot of meat on that bone, but you know, to pretty much speak on it, man, it said that they worshiped not the beast and they were killed, they were beheaded. Why? Yeah. Because they had that zeal. They didn't want to comply because they knew that if they did comply, it will be no resurrection for them. It will be no, you know, coming back or having, you know, the first fruits of labor, you know, coming into the kingdom, being having that crown, that scepter, you know, the glory, you know, all those particular things that the Lord had promised to the elect. So they pretty much took up their cross and they strive for the truth unto death. They actually had to die for it. This is what John the Revelator saw. So you're going to have particular elect men that's going to taste death, but it's going to be an honorable death, and they're going to be brought back, right? And then when that time comes, right, they're going to, the elect that didn't, you know, be beheaded, they're going to meet those elect in the air, right? And then what's going to happen? The Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua is going to take down his kingdom via World War III, nuclear missiles, and so on and so forth. And then the rest of the dead, which happens to be the other nations, right? After that 1,000, you know, years and so on and so forth, hey, they're going to go back to their own lands and so on and so forth. But in that 1,000-year period, the other nations, Esau, Edom, they're going to be building up this kingdom of heaven, man. You know, they're going to build up our kingdom for that 1,000-year period. And we'll get to actually see it, man. The Lord to put the foot on the necks of our nations and trotting them down, how they trotted us down, and we get our get back, the revenge.
That's right,
you know?
brother.
You know? So if you had a point you want to make, God, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, you know, you just brought out that, you know, we got to fight for this truth unto death. That's Sirach 4:28. As long as we strive for the truth unto death, Yahweh Shem Yahshua will fight for thee, man. So we don't want the world to fight for us. We want our power to fight for us, you know.
God.
You know, and that's point blank, period.
You know, so, hey, man, you know, the water Yahweh Shem Yahshua for allowing us to get up and do a lesson of the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. To close out and give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahshua, and double honors to our apostles, our elders, and bishops, a great millstone who rule well and teach well on sound doctrine. Peace, love, and salutation. I come out there with truth and sincerity. Until the next time, I say Kwame Yasharala, and Shalom.